Hello, good evening. Welcome to Rangersradio on a disappointing night for the club once again. Beat 2-1 away in Cyprus with Arias. Join myself, Foxshare, on the show. As all bear and Bridgeman. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Bridge. Evening, Ox. How are you all doing?
Good evening to yourself, Foxshare, and hope your techie guys are doing the job tonight. And of course, all bear are going to carry me on here. And I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world listening in, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Who's gone first?
All bear goes.
Do you want me to go first?
Aye.
On you go, mate. And if you go first, we'll go straight to the tune.
I'm telling you, mate, you don't want to let me loose. I could go for an hour myself right enough. First of all, I'm glad Beale's away, and that's the end of that. It's a full stop there. A mitigating disaster, that man. He's left us in a terrible state. Tactics are rotten, his team's rotten, and his signings is rotten, and that's where we are. And that's what we brought into tonight's game. So that's a full stop on him. Now we can talk about the game. The game was start to finish dreadful, mate. Absolutely dreadful. A few players in there are just gave up. Let's be honest about it. They're not playing. They're just, I think that they knew that they're at the top of their game, mate, when they're playing at their best, and we very rarely see that. But even at their best, they're not good enough. They're still not good enough.
They've gone. They're out of the hole. They've lost some of them. Have lost pace, mate. The three, if you like, senior pros in that team: Lundstrom, Olsen, Tavernier, along with Borner and Davis. Even tonight, I thought Davis was good. None of them had a good game, and I thought Lundstrom was particularly poor, but you could say the same about Tavernier, you could say the same about Olsen at times. It was atrocious all there.
If there's any doubt, by the way, that team tonight that beat us, they walked by that defence of yours, and if anybody's any doubt that the defenders are any good, the whole defence needs to go, mate. They're rubbish. They're just rubbish. We've known it for a long time. A lot of people have been putting spins on it and this, that, and what they've done in the past and blah blah. They're done, mate. They're done. It's just garbage, mate. You can't. There's no defence for them. There's no defence for the defence. They have to go, and that's just the start. I mean, we can get right through the team yet, but that's just the start.
That's the defence, and then you go into midfield.
What midfield, mate?
Exactly, because Lundstrom's playing beside him. He's hiding, mate. He's hiding. Yeah, and then young boy Raskin, all right, he's just a bit cringy, you know that, but energy brings the ball. No point getting the ball there if you get away.
Yep, that's what you do. That's what Weber did.
He can't pass it. Every pass goes near enough, goes to the opposition, mate. He does a lot of good stuff. He works hard, he's dogged, gets it in, and he does pass it quite often. No every pass, but quite often it goes to the opposition. And then we'll get to right, Dessers and Lammers, because I'll leave him out of that. On you go, all there.
Were they playing? What forward line again? In midfield, what forward line? When that mob scored, same as that Aberdeen scored, you just don't know. We're no scoring 2 goals. And that's a ridiculous state of affairs. Because that team tonight, you can't say they were a good team now. Nobody can come on here tonight and say they were a good team. They weren't a good team, mate. They were
poor. They were poor back to middle. They had fast forwards, mate. Well, I don't know if they are fast, Bridge, or their defenders are so slow.
Well, I think your latter statement there is probably true. I think every single one of our players if you forget the goalkeeper, and forget the boy who was centre forward, Seema, supposedly centre, or one of the forwards, the rest of them were dreadful. A terrible, terrible show by virtually all of the Rangers players. Tavernier and Barisic, who normally show up well in Europe, no, I'm sorry, they weren't at the races at all. But then it might be a sort of follow through from what's been happening at the club anyway. So, dare I say it, we need a good manager to come in and lift all these players, or something really good to happen to lift these players, because they ain't going to get lifted. We'll continue.
We need a manager to come in, mate, and unfortunately, we're going to have to try and sign 4, 5 or 6 starters in January, mate, which is a ridiculous position to be in.
Of course.
Yeah. Ryan Jack, and unfortunately Kemar Roof, Borna Barisic, no more deals, no more 1 year deals, and then we see who we get rid of, mate. You know, carry on.
Lundstrom and all.
Lundstrom, this is up and all. Just go, mate.
Absolutely, and I think it's a clean sweep's got to happen very soon. I don't know. I mean this sincerely. I don't know if the Rangers fans are going to go with the team and support. I just don't see it happening. I don't see us coming out every week or every game and playing the same way. That's the same style as we've been playing under Michael Beale.
Yeah, there's no time to change it, Bridge. I mean, they had a day off on Sunday and then they're back in Monday. They're travelling Tuesday.
I understand. But sadly, we're going to be stuck with that, and the players are going to start trying to continue that under Stephen Davis, unless he comes up with a wee miracle or a wee trick under his hat somewhere. But what I was meaning for that from the fans will not put up with that type of play. I mean, that was dreadful. It really was dreadful. But I take my hat off to the Rangers fans that stayed there right to the end tonight, and some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them clapped the Rangers off the park. But seriously, very, very poor. Very, very poor. That's all I can say. I don't want to.
Yeah, because that team are that poor. You were saying, well, we've all got another chance with 10 minutes to go, and it just petered out. And you know that team didn't look particularly comfortable for crosses. We were told that, and we did we do outswingers. You know, so we didn't we spend our whole life taking corner and Pav got to right and left and taking in swingers, and the night for some reason we went to outswingers. Couldn't get it. You know,
it's bordering on insanity, mate. It tells me one thing, right? I listened to that Beale last time. We said in this programme that the certain players slow to play down, and we named Tavernier, Golson, and Lundstrom. We said that. Mm-hmm. The following week he comes out and tells us, we're getting accused of slowing the game down. Well, that's for senior players, and they do that to keep the rhythm in the team. That's just bull, mate. That's just bull. What he's actually saying, and what we witnessed tonight, is they're controlling the team. They're running the team. Nobody else is running this. They're running the team. Even if Beale there, Davis is there, they're running this team. And they're playing the way they want to play, which is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful, mate. So don't be kidding that this is all worked on. This is a system. This is what they want to play, especially that Lundstrom and Golson and Tavernier. Right? They three are in that team. And I'll stick Dessers in there and all. They four are in that team because they're mouths, mate. It's not because they're any good. They should be in the team. They're just mouths. And they're talking their way into this team and bullying their way into this team because nobody else is standing up to them. What Davis needs to do now, it needs to take the bull by the horns and say, I'm only here a short time, but I'm going to. I know he doesn't want to follow them with his mates. I know he knows he might even an outside chance get back to playing with some of these guys, and he doesn't want to rock the boat. But he's here to do a job, and I'm not blaming Davis at any shape, form, or size because he's got no chance. But I would make a statement saying to them, look, you're not doing it, and there's no point in me mincing about. I need to tell you straight, you're not doing it, so you're not playing. So get them out the team. Just get them out the team. Put Suter in, put the boy Stirling at right back, and get that Lundstrom out that midfield. I would never want to see him in a blue jersey again, that boy. He just gave it. He done it again tonight. He just gave up and all. He gives up all the time, and he's not got the ability to play in midfield, mate. He's
when that second goal, what he done, the pass, I don't even know who was trying to pass. I down the wing. He didn't get it right for the umpteenth time. And then the boy, he gave him a yard, he ran past him. He's got to lean on him or something. Yeah, make it difficult for him to take one for the team. He just let him run. And then obviously the guy was in space. A good goal for their point of view. A decent cross in. Defenders running back away. The forward gets the turn on him. Davis wasn't great, but still was a decent goal.
You let the guy in front of him.
Aye. If we'd scored it, you'd be quite happy and say that it was good movement for the forward, yeah?
Yep.
But it all came for a shocking mistake by Lundstrom, which was exasperated Bridgeman by the fact that his lack of effort.
Yeah,
he can go anytime he likes. Anytime he likes.
Yeah, you're right there. I think most people feel that way about him now. Everything about him just said, no. That's just what it said to me. I think he had 2 attempts at goal. Never reached, probably 2 yards wide and up over the top or something, you know. Just, no, I'm sorry. Lundstrom was probably exhausted the fans because we're expecting. We even made a song about him. Remember, he'll win as a year.
He did an excellent game. I mean, if we're being fair, he did an excellent game against Bess. Excellent game. Yeah.
Just
was what, two
something's happened. Something's definitely happened. And that team, it's going to be a miracle just to lift that team. Seriously. It's going to take a miracle.
It is busted because they're playing Oiram. You know, they'll never play for a bigger club. Never. And we're stuck with some of them with the length of contracts. But the ones that we can get rid of, Ryan Jack, unfortunately, Kima Roof, we know he's a good finisher, but injuries, unfortunately, Kima and Lundstrom, their contracts are up. They've got to go. And the other ones, if we can get them out in Borner as well. Yeah, well, we've enjoyed some of the things they've done over the years, but it's done now.
So is that those 4 of them out of contract at the end of the season?
Aye, Borner, Lundstrom, Jack, Roof, Scott Wright, yeah.
Yeah,
5 players that were involved.
Bye-bye to them all.
Aye, that's 5 players that were involved there. So
I would release them on January, mate. I would just say to them, look, yeah, you just go find yourself a club.
Well, there you go. But I don't know if we can do that at the moment. Because
you can offer them it.
Unless we're buying players in.
It doesn't matter, Bridge. We better go with 6.
You've got to buy five players in minimum, 5 players in January. Yeah. Right, we better get these phone lines opened, yeah?
Go for it.
Are you ready for this?
Nope.
Oh, but we're getting good at this, aren't we?
Okay. We're handling it. We can handle this, we can handle it.
Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, Big Stevie's nipped in to get his say. All right, big man.
I'm brand new. I want to ask the Bridge man a question. Bridge, are you there, pal?
I'm there, buddy. I'm here, yeah.
Bridge, many years have you been watching the Rangers?
Oh, for God's sake. That's probably 60. More. It's more than 60.
Bridge, that must be the worst Rangers team you've ever clapped eyes on, surely.
100% correct, pal. 100% correct.
Right. Listen, that says it all for me. They've cheated the support. They have done again, and they had a chance to redeem themselves a wee bit. Seaman's the only one. Seaman, the goalkeeper tonight, is the only one that gets pass marks. See, John Lundstrom should never pull a jersey out of his head again, mate. Deserts and Lammers, they should be stood against the wall, and the Union Bears should be able to do what they want with them. I'm telling you right now, they're an absolute disgrace. They don't deserve the support, and that's all I want to say. But I really, honestly, now's the time. I need to start ripping them. See, Stevie Davis, I know his horns are tied, right? He's left with us mob, right? I get it. But see, if I'm Stephen Davis watching that tonight, and he's any sort of Rangers fan, I'm telling you now, I'd make a statement. I'd strip Cap at the tab of the captaincy and get to the goalie. And I'm telling you now, I would make sure there's players there that never play for the club again. Well, I know he's only there as caretaker manager, but I would put my own stamp in the team by doing that to some of them, because it's nothing more than they deserve. Now, I'd just like to say thanks to Rangers Radio for the platform again, letting me get my anger out there. And until the Rangers fans out there, just keep the faith, dig our heels in, we'll get there, don't worry. But see them tonight, utter dross. Apart from Seaman, the goalkeeper, utter dross. And there's guys there that should never pull that famous jersey on again. And Bridgeman, 60 years you've watched the Bears, and it's the worst Rangers team. You'll say that yourself. And Allbell's right. When Allbell says we can't even make the excuse that was a good team we were playing. See how they defended? Every ball was up in the air, 50 foot up in the air. And we couldn't deal with them. Honestly, a bunch of cowards, no iron, and not get one bit of moral fibre in them to fight for that jersey, and they fans standing there. And I'm telling you now, it's a clear out we need. Now, good night, Rangers Radio. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, that one.
Cheers. And by the way, I think somebody's fibbing about his age, if I'm being honest, Albert.
Bridgeman.
Aye.
What's that?
Bridgeman, you're older. You're older than my house, Bridgeman.
right, yeah.
Aye. Let's go through. Let's be honest. Let's try and look at the match, all right, and then bring it out quickly, and then we'll bring in some of the callers. We started slow. We were getting the ball very cheaply. For me, the main antagonist was John Lundstrom at the start, mate. His decision making, his slow and awkwardness put us into trouble. Then we lose a goal, and Lammers, who's about 6'3", and then we seen everything that's wrong with our team. Like Connor Golson's lack of effort. What does he think's going to happen in the 6-yard box? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you play that position, you've got to come and heed it, Bridger.
100%.
He's got to come and heed it.
Field miserably.
You know, just a bread and butter cross. You've got to compete, make it hard, make sure you get there first. He's actually falling and looking down. I don't even think he matches his run. There was similarities all there to the first goal on Saturday. When the ball went across for a corner, this obviously came out and come in. But our centre-halves, it came in and get by them, and the guy was allowed to heed it. That this time, the last time he slid in. It was shocking defending Albert.
Absolutely disgraceful. The guy got goal side.
Your name's no Albert.
Oh, sorry, pal, sorry.
You call Bridgeman right out in your horn so you remember. Right.
It was shocking for the whole team, mate, because if you look at the corner went back the way to that boy standing in his cell. Desser's standing watching him, standing there waiting to take that pass. They can't. He's standing that far away, going. You know him. He's got to stand two inches away for him to catch you. He's standing watching him, and then the guy gets the ball, and then he makes a half attempt. I was going to swear there. Half attempt to run across to block it. Too late. Boys in. Golson's sleeping. Guy runs off and 6-yard box. 6-yard box. Lammers goes up and ducks down. You ever seen that? He were back to this one. He goes up. He's 6'3", but when he jumps, he's 5'2". Who's that noise? Do you hear a noise there?
So just carry on. Keep talking.
So there you are. What as you say, what do you expect? Did you see Butland when he picked it? He's on his knees and he just turned around. He just can't believe what he's got to put up with these people. They cannot defend. They can't defend, mate. It's as simple as that. And the whole defence can just go now. Just go. The lot of them go. That Davis, he gets caught in their 6-yard box in the second half, mate, as well. Don't know what he was doing there. I know I'm jumping about, but you know what I'm saying? Just go. The 40s, and take Lundstrom ways.
Right, okay. We'll be joined by Big Al. All right, big man?
Yeah, how are you, gentlemen?
Jumping for joy, mate.
Jump for joy, aye. Look, I mean, did we expect anything less? I don't think we did.
Not against that team, Al, because let's be honest, apart from a couple of pacey players, from midfield to defence, they were awful and all. And I
know what you're saying, but we're not concentrating on another team here. I'm going to be critique my own team. I wasn't really expecting much less. I mean, you can look at Davis and say he probably wasn't expecting much less. We'll probably sold him a dummy at training. I will do this, we'll do that. Look, even if Merlin comes in, he's not going to change that team around a bit. It needs fundamental change.
Surgery, mate.
Aye, surgery. So, I mean, the building blocks that are there, there's none. There's no building blocks. We're going to get the same. We'll get the same at the weekend. You might be lucky. We might get a result. We might not. It's a bad result. If you look at the other team, yeah, we should be well in front of that team. But unfortunately, we know the psyche of the team is defeatist.
I agree.
They can't play.
As much as I've stuck up for the leadership in the team, mate, it's all gone, mate. It's all busted flush.
It's all gone. Like so, I mean, I'm not wanting to criticise Davis because he's only. But all I'm going to say is that if it was me, I would have changed that in that game. No, wait a game, because you know what the inevitable is going to happen. So we're behind the 8 ball again. The sooner we get a proper manager in, but any manager looking at that is going to say, I mean, if you go into companies or whatever, you've got to say, well, what have I got to work with? Managers that maybe, I don't know, might look at that and say, I'm not going to touch it now.
if you were getting lined up to manage that and you watched that tonight, you'd be phoning up, say, cancel my interview tomorrow. I can't make it.
I'm not well. I need to take a few weeks off and all that. But then again, that would come down to the manager. I think they have to get something done straight away, and I don't know. He needs to be a miracle worker to get the players playing again. I totally agree with you. You have to change it completely. Think outside the box, and we're going to have to go with who we've got, but no day players, i.e. bring in some of the young players, bring in some of the young defenders, midfielders, and just go with them until such times as we can properly invest in quality players, and we've got a good manager to push the players along.
Yes, I don't know where to start with, Al. I don't know where you start with the forwards and the defence and the midfield. I mean, you've got every department.
Start somewhere.
Usually say you're looking for a goalie, or you need 2 centre halves, or you need a couple of midfield players, or a centre forward's injured, and we need a couple of wingers. We need everything. And the people who have been involved with the recruitment, the kind of players we've signed.
We can't cry about that. That's done, isn't it, Ox? We're going to have to rip it up again. I totally agree with you. I'm not wanting to bag the players because I'm sick of doing it. I'm depressed with it.
No, you've got players that wait a minute. Sorry, Al.
No, you go ahead.
You've got players there you can change it with. Come on. You've got Suter there. He comes in for goals, and you've got Sterling. He comes in for Tar. There's 2 at the team. You drag Lundstrom out the team. You put the boy Cifuentes on and say, "We bought you. We're going to have to see what you do." Put the boy Rice and Raskin next to him. There's 5 of them. You've changed right away. Davis has got to stay in because you've not got a left-sided one. You get to Barisic, right? You get out, bring Ridvan in, and if you can't bring Ridvan in, put down Dowell at left back. I keep telling you this, put Dowell at left back when he's fit, get him in. Sorry, mate.
I've cut across you all. We've been joined by Martin. Evening, Martin.
Hello.
Evening, Martin. You all right?
I'm fine. How are you?
Aye. What's on your mind, mate?
So, well, I think the same as everybody else. No too happy. Just think a performance like that from against a team like that is just totally unacceptable.
Is it obviously we've lost games before in Europe, we've been beat 2-1 away at home, we played against decent sides, you say, well, we were better than us, but I think what's exaggerating or exasperating is the fact that they weren't a great side. And they could actually scored a couple more goals, if I'm being honest.
Oh, they had chances, definitely, and that's the worrying thing. Butland, I think one of the callers on hitting him in the head. Butland and Seema were the only 2 players in my mind that got pass marks. The defence was ludicrous, and even when we did start trying to attack, the crossing of the balls, the first thing you get taught, you get by the first man. And how many times when Tav was crossing the ball, he couldn't get the ball to the first man. And it's like just schoolboy stuff.
Yes. What was your old man make of Dessers, Martin?
Well, I've not spoke to him directly about Dessers, but I can hazard a guess that not much, to be honest.
Right.
He's no. He's just I don't know. I don't think he's offside. He gets caught offside a few times. Fair enough, the one where he scored it was close, but he gets caught offside quite a lot. And he's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's certainly no a proven goal scorer, that's for sure.
Just so you know, Bridgeman, Martin's dad scored one of the goals in Barcelona, so you can work that out. You're on mute, Bridge. Right. Where would you start with that team?
Sorry,
Martin?
but
Where would
sorry,
you
what
start?
were you saying there about Martin's
You're
dad?
obviously weren't listening, so we'll carry on.
I was listening. What were you
Well,
saying
what did
about
I
the
say
last
then?
bit? Well, you said his dad scored a goal in Barcelona.
Yes.
And I'm saying thank you very much, Martin. Tell your dad thank you very much.
Right. Well, who does that make his dad then?
I don't know. I don't know.
If he scored the goal in Barcelona, who does it make his dad?
I
It
don't
can
know.
only be one of two.
So it's that, what, Steen or Johnson?
And he scored one goal in Barcelona. Bridge, I'm giving you a clue here.
Steen.
It must be Steen then.
Well done, Bridge.
Yes.
Hello, Martin.
How you doing?
How
Martin,
you
where
doing?
would you
But I've
start?
had my hole in Barcelona as well.
No, big hole. No. Right,
On
where
a
would you
lighter
start with
note,
that team, Martin? Where would you start?
Oh, where do you start? I mean, Lundstrom tonight, getting the ball away. They couldn't find a man. It was embarrassing. I mean, you're not playing against. The first game we played was a much harder game than the game we played tonight, and we actually made that team look better than what they are. Because I mean, they're an amateur side. They're no.
They'll not take another point in that tournament. That's my prediction, Martin.
I wouldn't go as far. If the team's confidence and they didn't get something in place,
No, the
you
other
may be
team,
right.
the other team will not get another point in that tournament.
Yeah. No, or them. Oh no. That I said that to my laddie Cole. He was over watching tonight, and I says, we need to win this. No, just try and scramble a draw here, because the other teams they'll hammer them, and that's without a doubt. No, you're right about that. And we've done the hard bit, the first game, and then you threw away the advantage of doing that with the result tonight.
Right, I'm going to ask you an unusual question. I'll go in the panel. I'll start with you all there. We'll no go for man of the match, right? We'll go for donkey of the match. Albert?
Lundstrom.
Bridgeman?
Lundstrom.
Big Al?
That's a hard one, that. Jesus, what a question. I know, no, Tavernier for me, man.
What about you, Martin?
Lundstrom, Tavernier, Connor Olsen. You can name half a dozen.
I thought you were just going to name the team there, mate.
You could name half a dozen. I mean, somebody your caller earlier on, I think, talked about Goulson. I mean, I'm 6'5". Connor Goulson up for the goal. He's fucking ducked. I mean, I've never seen that in my life. I mean, I've heard my dad saying a few times that when he jumped, you couldn't get a daily record on these feet, but he's not even jumped, he's ducked. So, you could, donkey, you could name half a dozen at least.
I would go with Lundstrom myself. Well,
that was a killer, Lumsden. They done it all night. How many times did Rangers give the ball away? It was embarrassing.
See, the difference is, see the boy right. He's got the brains to stay away from the ball because he knows he's wrong. I'll stay away from it. Lundstrom keeps asking for it, and you're well, don't give him it. Don't give him it anymore. Just don't give him it. But they keep giving him the ball. Blammers comes back to give him the ball. Goulson gives him the ball. Davis gives him. Everybody gives him the ball. You're going, he doesn't do anything with it. He never ever does. He never pushes forward. He never drives the team up the park. He just keeps playing it back to them and back. Give it back, and I'll give it back to you. Nothing ever happens. But anyway, apart from that, one thing I'm going to say: Steve Tavernier stays in that team. Christ's sake, take him off the corner kicks. I'm sick of watching that clown taking corner kicks. Take him off the corner kicks. He's rotten at them. Absolutely rotten at them.
Well, if you can't get past the first man, I mean that's you're taught that in school. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't clear the first man. Yes. but I don't know if you would agree with me on this point, but like Barisic, I mean, for me, he sits far too far off the players and lets them play and lets them come at him, lets them get across. And Davis is over there, and the two of them combined is just an accident waiting to happen.
You seen that one when Ben Davis actually passed it to the boy, they should have scored. Bridgman, Borner and Ben Davis were all over the place.
They never tried to even play together at any time. They hardly passed the ball to each other, and I'm not being funny when I say that. It was seriously, it's the poorest showing I've seen for a Rangers team, if ever.
Saturday.
Well, Saturday was poor. That was murder. Yeah, since Saturday. That was murder. And you know,
the two poorest performances.
Well, we've got another one, the Celtic game at Ibrox. Absolutely shocking display in the second half. Just terrible. And what can we say?
Hello.
Can you see? Sorry?
Right, I'll cut across you. We've been joined by Tommy. Evening, Tommy.
Hello, Walks. How are you?
That's a good question, Tommy. The floor's yours.
So, absolutely soul destroying to watch that. Kevin Thompson hit it on the nail locks. That's poor. And it's like the Bridgeman says, I've been watching Rangers a long time as well, mate, and that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. Hooked.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's up there. It's up there, definitely up there.
I thought the wee boy when he come on. I thought when the wee boy McCluskey come on, he didn't look too bad, Ox.
McCluskey.
Whatever his name is, I couldn't remember his name is. McCausland, that's it. I didn't think he did too bad, Ox. He kept on giving him the ball, and I didn't think he did too bad.
Listen, he'll know last. He's got a bad habit of passing it to somebody with the same colour of shirt on him, Albert.
The boy come on and done well, and he done one pass. He slipped the ball through, and that one pass he done well and right done in 85 minutes or 80 minutes. All the line stood doing. It's ridiculous, mate. I'll criticise Davis for that, by the way. He waited too long for substitutes. Way too long for substitutes. Well, at least he could have used his full 5 substitutes. I know we only had 3 really outfield players, creative players, forward players, and the rest were I don't care. I'd have brought them all in. I would have brought them all in and just get rid of any 5 you want off that part would have done me. But no, he waited too long. He definitely waited too long. He needs to learn for that, by the way. If it's no working, sort it. Try and sort it. You know, it's not to say that the people he's bringing on are any better than the people who are on the part, but at least try and sort it. Just don't stand back and watch it. Yeah, go for it.
Can I ask Tommy a question? Tommy?
On you go.
Right, just to say, what did you think of Tavernier's performance tonight?
Shocking. Couldn't he cross the road, Bridgeman? Couldn't he cross the road? Every time he got the ball, it's like the guy said with the corners. Every corner was to the near post. He never. I thought his corners were, and his free kick, that was even worse, Bridgeman. I mean, I thought he was one of the worst players in the park for Rangers tonight.
Would you give him donkey of the day?
No, that you've already done that. He's Lundstrom wins that hands down, Ox.
No, I agree. But that shows you how bad Lundstrom must have been. The Tab was awful. We've no shining lights. Tommy. There's nothing. The goalkeeper. When your goalkeeper's getting a lot of practice, therein lies the problem.
It's like, the problem is again, I listened, but I can't remember who said it about for Saturday, but Campbell's not going to be ready yet. The boy Lawrence will not be back yet. Danilo, they were saying that Danilo might start Saturday. That's 3 players that you're going to be bringing in there, Ox. It's just, Stephen Davis really has to grow a pair of them downstairs and say, bye, you're not playing. He's got to say to Lundstrom, you're definitely not playing. And somebody else said about putting John Suter in. Why don't you put the boy in? What's wrong with Balogun? Is Balogun injured?
Well, in my opinion, Suter's better centre half than the 2 we had on the night. In my opinion,
I agree.
I don't know if you agree with that or disagree with that, but I'll tell you.
Well, I'll tell you what. John Suter's got faults in his game, but I'll tell you what he will do. He'll come and attempt to idiot Martin. Yeah.
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 and he's got a pass in him. He's made mistakes, and he made a mistake in his Celtic in the pass and that. But the lad is learning. You know what I mean, to play in a big team, and I just think he's a better defender than the two that were on the park tonight, by far.
Aye. Big Al.
But Suter's not a defender. Just if I can answer the Suter thing, I mean, Suter's not a defender that we can move forward with. I don't think he's particularly. We can build a team on him. I mean, if Suter had been involved with the challenge for their goal, where Connor Golson was involved, I don't think Suter would have ducked in. You can't.
I mean, what can he defend on that? I mean, you
can't. But Suter's. Are you telling me Suter is a player that we can see moving forward with? He's the type of defender you would like in a team that's going to take us to the next level, win league titles and all that? No, we need an upgrade on Suter as well.
Of course we do, but he's 36.
Wait a minute.
I'm not saying Suter's going to be...
Albert. Wait a minute. Right? One at a time.
I'm not saying Suter's going to solve every problem. What I'm saying is Suter is certainly better than the players that were out tonight. I'm not saying Suter's the person to take us forward over the next few years to win us titles and whatever. But my point is, he's better than what was out there tonight.
Well, that's your opinion. But what if you could just let me answer that? What I'm saying is, that I don't see Suter as a fix. I think therein lies the problem, that people will look at him and think, "Well, that's a fix."
Two different questions.
Well, no, really, no.
Well, do you think Cenk Gilson and Davis is going to take us forward, like?
No,
because that's your point. They're going to take us forward.
Buddy. No, I've been saying that for years. So.
And you come out there.
No, it's the point I was going to make. I think it was Tommy was making that. It's the same point I was going to make. It's not the answer. There's no the future. I'll agree with that. But it's definitely going to be better than what we're watching now, because we need it now. We need something to fix this team now, and we need to send a message to this team now. I'm talking for the management team, and the only thing you've got is the players I mentioned, to bring them in and take their places. Even if they're not as good, even if they don't play well, even if we don't get all the results we require with these players, you've got to send a message to these players. You've got to, mate. It's just one of the things that you empty Ibrox if you keep playing with this same team, by the way. You really will. And I don't want that to happen.
I understand what you're saying, Albert, but I think it's just like for like.
Yeah, it is,
you
mate.
know what I mean? I don't think you could put a slice of paper between Golson and Suter in regards to. I mean, Suter's liable to the same mistakes, and we've seen it in a couple of big games with Suter. All I was meaning was, I just don't think we can build on. Yes, I agree with you. We might need to change, and that's the only option we've got to change. That's fair enough. We need to try it, but I think he'll be tainted with whatever's going on behind the scenes at Ibrox as well. You know, that's what I'm kind of worried about.
Gilson's had so many chances, and arguably made the biggest mistake in their biggest game in a long time, a European final. And he's done it umpteen times. I'm not saying the guy has played bad all the time, but he makes glaring mistakes. And in the past, he's got away with it because they'll no drop him. And you're talking glaring mistakes.
Aye. By the way, I know he was at fault with that goal, but I still think this cross could have been stopped at source. And who was that? That was Scott Wright, Albert.
Aye, for the European game.
I'm still
okay. Aye. If he would have had a bit of bottle about him, he could have flew into that tackle and stopped that cross. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But then again, we're talking about the same players making the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's just one of the. We're in a situation, a no-win situation at the moment, and we need to try and manage ourselves into a position of half decent. I'm not saying decent. I'm just saying half decent, because this is atrocious, mate. And it can't be left alone to go on like that. And rushing a new manager is not the answer, mate. We need to take our time on that. Exactly, mate. Exactly. And I hope Bisgrove's taking advice on this rather than going out there and trying to sign somebody's sale. Because some of the names I'm hearing getting bandied about. And by the way, one of the bits of advice I'd give him is don't listen to the fans. You listened to the fans the last 2 times, and look what's happened. Don't listen to the fans. Listen to professional people within the game if you're signing your manager. Take the recommendations off of them, no off of us. We're no inside. We're no part of the inner circle in football. So we don't really truly know. But you sit and say to yourself, I hope he's taking advice for all sorts of angles. I don't care where he gets it from, but take the advice and don't rush it. Please don't rush it. Get the right guy. Get the right person, definitely.
Well, I agree with that point, but what do you think, lads? Do you get somebody in just now to take you to the end of the season and you're no rushing into a decision?
No. The trouble is,
do you give Davis a couple of months and try and get a manager in? What's your thoughts on that?
Can I answer that?
On you go, Bill.
You give Davis. Bennett's already told Davis in his statement that he's there for the foreseeable future, for however long that takes. He's already told Davis he's got the job. It doesn't matter what happens. Davis has got this job to when we get a manager. The trouble you've got is don't rush it. That's all I'm saying. Just don't rush it. But if you bring, and what he's saying to Davis as well, doesn't matter the results you get. He's not getting the job. He's not there to get the job. He's away looking for the right person to build a team. Not just build a team, by the way, build a squad, build a football department, because we really haven't got one. We're a shambles, mate. Not a club.
No, I agree with that.
We're not a shambles as a club, but we're a shambles with a football department. We really are, mate. It's bad now. Yeah. I know you're saying you agree, Tom. I know you would do it. I know, and everybody agrees because there's nothing else we can do. We all see it with our own eyes. But I'm more concerned, and the mainstream media have started a circus now with fire names all over the place. I don't care about any of these names. I don't care what they're saying. I just want inside Ibrox, inside Bennett, Bisgrove, and the other people that are going to make the executive directors that are going to make a decision to make the right decision, because we seriously can't get this wrong now. We're tethering on the brink here, mate. If we don't get this one right and we don't build this department right, this could be it for the next 10 years, mate. Yeah. So we need to get this right.
I agree with you 100%, because Rangers history never went through a lot of managers, and it's becoming now. It's the fucking bill for the bill for the paying managers off must be unbelievable, because we're short term now, and so many managers in such a short space of time is not acceptable, because obviously they're not good enough, and the club has got to do due diligence and sort that out.
Can I come in on that?
Wait a minute, but what I'm finished, Bridge, just
wait right, no problem.
Yeah, on you go.
No, carry on, pal.
Oh, I just think the club's got to do due diligence to get I think they need an experienced manager in there. I'm not going to say any names of that. I don't know what, but they need somebody with experience. Some of the names getting branded about are guys that have not managed at top level, same as what we've had in the last couple of managers. So I don't think that's a road that we should go down again, to be quite honest.
No, can I just say then, as far as I'm concerned, when I listen to it, it's marvellous listening to you and all the things in it. I was watching that game and I was saying half the things that you've both said, and we shouldn't be doing this and get ready so and so. But the truth is, we've got until December before we can. The end of December before we can do anything, unless you're going to bring in guys that have no contract with anyone. But that really and truly, we're playing football at the weekend, right? We've got a really tough game at the weekend. Based on the way we're playing, it may be even tougher. So I think the club needs to be able to settle something down, and the manager and the coaches have got to be able to do something with those players. Otherwise, it's going to drip. We're going to get drip fed a lot of rubbish, and
nothing's
the team.
Going to happen with the players between
No.
I'm
saying
Sunday bridge.
I know, pal. I know that's what I'm trying to say. But we need a wee bit of something, a bit of luck for the coming week. And realise this, of course, is that Real Betis, who we beat the other week there, they won tonight. So that's every team in our group are on 3 points. So we're not out of Europe.
I'm not saying. But the problem is, I think we all fancy that team the team we played tonight might not get another point.
Correct, I don't do that for a minute. We were victims tonight. We were the victims. And we need to improve.
Right,
I think as well, people forget that arguably we've probably got our 3 best players or 3 attacking players injured just now, which no making an excuse, but it makes a big difference to the team.
We're missing Cantwell, and obviously Lawrence coming back for injury. He always looks a good player, but let's be honest, Martin, we don't know how good he is because he's not a consistent run in the team.
Yeah,
And then
the Brazilian that scored the goal and got injured, and well, you don't know how good he is either, really, because he's not had a run in the team either. And Matondo, who up until this year has been a name in my house, even my son wouldn't say to me, "Oh, your pal's coming on," because he was terrible in my opinion until this year. He's made a difference this year. He has been a different player, but so you're missing 3-4 attacking minded decent players. I'm not making any excuses, obviously, but that's a lot to miss at the stage we are now.
I couldn't agree more. We're not creative. You've seen that tonight, Albert, and I'll go to Tommy after you. We've seen that tonight. We can't make a chance, can we?
No.
I'm just going to pop out, boys. Have a good evening.
Cheers, Big Al.
Cheers, Big Al.
Cheers.
That's it, mate. We don't know where the goals are coming from for a start. We criticise the forward line quite rightly, but who's going to create the chances? Nobody in that midfield. There's no playmaker. Well, Lundstrom's our playmaker, isn't he? Oh, that's good, isn't it? He seems to be everything.
Playmaker. I thought he was their playmaker.
You're right, mate. But at the end of the day, we've got players coming back. Fair enough. If it's going to make that much a difference, I don't know. But we definitely need to do something new. The boy Rice, I don't know if he's going to be any good, but he's got to get put in that midfield. Me, McCausland's got to get a game as well. And the other wee boy, Lyle, sitting on the bench, he's a number 10. I'd play that wee boy. I'm McCausland before I'd play that Lammers and Dessert. I'm telling you right now.
I'd play you before I'd play Lammers.
But I'm not joking, mate. I'm serious. I went down and watched them in that B team, and they're better than these guys. I'm telling you right now, they are. But they're going to win all the games.
I want a game and all.
You're holding the Jenkins shoe. But no, it's going to the stage. It needs to be radical, mate. It really does. It needs to be something done now. I don't want to sit and watch this again. At least if the young boys come on, you can sit and watch and get a wee bit excited about watching the boys and encouraging the boys. If you watch the wee boy McCausland tonight, he come on.
The boys on the phone, I don't know if it's Tommy or Martin, they're getting a lot of noise for you. Everything comes through your phone, and you put your phones in mute when you're not speaking. Yeah. Cheers, Martin. Cheers, Tommy. On you go, Albert.
If you looked at the wee boy McCausland come on, and not one of the so-called senior pros gave that boy a word of encouragement. Not one of them. Not one of them saying to him when they ping the ball at him, "Go on, son, on you go, take them on, go on." Not one of them. They just all sat there and, here. Some of them were passing the ball. It's not a pass, it's getting rid of the ball. There's a lot of that goes on. And the wee boy, and I'm saying to myself, encourage the boy. You encourage that boy to take them on, he'll take them on. But no. Tavernier shouting, give me the ball, back the way, everything's back the way. You're going to, just bugger off a lot. I'm sick of watching. He's just bugger off.
Okay, all right.
I agree
Right,
with
Tom.
you. And see,
Wait a
see
minute,
the
Mark,
laddie sitting on the
just wait a
bench.
minute, mate. Wait till you hear your name, mate. Yeah, Tommy, in you come, mate. Go on,
Cheers,
Tommy
Ox.
boy.
I just, I'm a bit frightened for Saturday, Ox, because I think St Mirren are actually playing some good football, and that'll be an interesting game for us this Saturday, Ox.
Oh,
I
we're
really
not winning
don't
on
think.
Saturday, Tommy. No way we're winning on Saturday.
I don't think Stephen Davis. I hope I'm wrong, Ox. I don't think he'll change much of that team, Ox. I don't think he'll change a lot of it. Like you said, the Mafia, Goldstein, Lundstrom, and Tavernier. You can bet your bottom dollar they'll play Saturday, Sunday.
You got it right there, Sunday. I think we've been joined by Derek. Evening, Derek.
Good evening. Let's be honest, this isn't a Rangers team we're watching. It's a shouting on trials. And I say the other night, I think the board and the scout and everything's got to take a good long hard look at itself. Who's authorising these signings? That's a 2 or 3 transfer windows you've had, and the players have been rotten. I don't think we've even got Baron Butland and Seema, and I'm not convinced with Seema. Baron Butland, the last 3 transfer windows we've had, it's been all dross that we've bought. And I don't understand why we don't go to 3 at the back in an away game in Europe and let them come to us instead of us doing the attacking. The team tonight, they're a Sunday League pub team. It's better, isn't it?
I don't disagree. They weren't great. Albert?
I would go Nain at the back, Derek, to be honest with you. I think we go on better with Nain at the back. It's getting that bad. But they were a bad team. I'm not saying they were a bad team or a rotten team, but they weren't a good team. They definitely weren't a good team. And we should have more than enough to beat them. And we haven't, mate. And that's the truth of it. We just haven't. And we haven't got Sunday's game. And we use, I don't say he's beaten St Mirren, because St Mirren, that Robinson's got legs in that team of theirs, and if they're going to run at us, they'll run right out of tapirs, mate. Run right out of tapirs. It's ridiculous. And I'd just like to say thanks, Mr. Beale.
I know.
But see, when you look at it though, right, you've got the two that are getting consistently played at centre backs, who make mistakes left, right and centre. And didn't get me wrong, Tavernier has came up on European nights and games, and we've had great nights off of that. But in recent form, him and Barisic, I mean, they're liabilities. And their passing isn't the same as what it used to be. And they didn't want the ball as much as what they used to. I just think there's something wrong there. Something seriously wrong.
When your legs go, when you're in their 30s, they go, mate. They just go. And it doesn't matter who you are. The sands of time wait for no man. And I think the combination, I think Bonner's maybe lost off a year, but the desire's not there for Bonner. His contract's up, he's looking to move. You're in the same situation as Morelos. And Tavernier's played that much football. He's played a lot of games for us. You know, he's been, if you look at it over that space of time, I don't know, him and Goldson, the number of games I've played in the periods of times will be some kind of record. And it takes its toll. And when your body goes and your legs go, it doesn't matter who you are. You lose half a yard or you never get it back, Bridge, do you?
Never.
No.
It never comes back, pal. You're right. I think that Tavernier, right now, I would classify Tavernier as an athlete who's no longer an athlete. Last season and the seasons before it, the guy was miraculous for us. Superb stuff. My goodness gracious. This season has been a chore, and you can see it in him. It's a chore. Every decision he's making is wrong. Every pass he's trying to make is poor, and so on and so forth. Because we can all add it all up. And that's what I think was happening with Tav. And if ever a person looks as if he needs a rest, it's Tavernier. And I mean a month's rest, not a week.
Yeah.
All right, and you come, Derek. He's a appointment.
Why we keep allowing players to run down their contract and get no money for them? And my second point would be, we could go as Derek McInnes to be the next Rangers manager, somebody that knows the league inside out. We could go in here and get another foreign manager, or a Kevin Muscat, or the AZ Dartford manager, and we could be in the same position a year down the line. I could go maybe and ask McInnes, I see, because he does know the league inside out.
I don't think you're alone in that thoughts. The contracts, mate, the players have got all the power. We signed Butland for nothing. We signed Lundstrom for nothing. You know, so we've took advantage of it. The players have got all the power, mate. If they don't want to sign their contracts, corner, just run his contract and leave. It's modern football, mate.
I know, but can you just print him out the door then last summer?
How do you do that then? Do you pay them off?
No, but you can't sell them.
If you're their agent, right, think about it, mate. Really think about it. You're their agent, right? You're going to move, get the same money. If you wait 6 months, you've got freedom of contract and you can sign and you got all the money. That's modern football. Whether we like it or no, we take advantage of it sometime and it's going to get done to us. Yeah, all the powers with the players. All better.
It's true, mate, but I still say that we should be building things into these contracts before we sign them. And what I would build into it is give them a 2-year contract with an option for the third, but only if they don't sign the third, they automatically go in the transfer. If they don't want to sign that contract, then fine, don't bring them. That's just fit. You got to sort it out at the start of their contracts, no halfway through a contract. So you've got to protect the club. You've got to protect the asset or the limited assets that we've got. We don't seem to do that. We seem to fall into this multi-million-pound contracts and no protection for the club. The Premiership can get away with that with the amount of money it's doing there. But up here, you can't get away with that. You've got to protect the club. And that's the way I would do it. I would also say to the players, if you don't want to sign, you don't want to sign. I wouldn't bend over backwards to give them things that they want to sign.
All right. We're getting a lot of noise for the boys on the phones. I know it's not your fault. Last word for your good self to Tommy before we move on.
Thanks for having us on again, Ox. It's nice to hear your voice.
Oh, great to hear you, mate.
I would just like to say, Ox, I'd love to see the two chairmen speaking to Souness and McLeish about the next manager. That's what I'd like to see. Souness and McLeish getting involved with Biscoe and Bennett and saying, we've got to get a Rangers man in, a proper Rangers man in, Ox, and build a team there. None of this Muscat and McInnes and whatever. Souness and McLeish and Gordon Smith somewhere along the line, and these people should be sitting in the room with Bennett and saying, this is who you should be going for. Even if you have to go for a young, inexperienced manager like Kevin Thompson, Ox, you've got to go with somebody that knows the club inside out and who'll bring in young players and give them a chance. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with getting this McInnes and people talk about. I mean, Lampard was a dumpling in England, Ox. Lampard's been rubbish. Why would you want to think about getting Lampard?
Yep.
I just hope the two chairmen speak to Souness. I don't think they will, Ox. I don't think they will. I'd like to see them speak to Souness, McLeish and Smith and say, let's get Kevin Thompson in with a good backroom team and be them. And let them bring. It's like Brisbane said. Bring the youth in. Bring the boy Lovelace in. Bring them in. Play the kids. If you have to play the kids, play them. Manchester United did it in 1998 and they won the League, Ox.
It couldn't be any worse than that tonight, mate. But I don't think your Kevin Thompson thing will come true. But I understand your point about the board. Speak to people.
I'll phone again, Ox, and I'll listen from afar. Thanks for having us on.
Cheers, Tommy. Martin.
Cheers, Ox. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Martin, great for you to call in, mate. And could you send my regards to your father?
No problem. I enjoyed calling in and putting my tuppence in.
Don't be a stranger, Martin. Don't be a stranger.
No, I won't be. I won't be.
You popped your cherry, mate. You popped your cherry.
And enjoy listening. And hopefully the next time we speak, it's under better circumstances, let's say. Here, mate. Right, take care, boys. Thanks very much for having me.
Cheers, Martin.
Cheers.
Derek, last thoughts of your good self, mate, before we...
Just keep up the good work, and I hope the next time we speak it'll be we'll be winning something.
We've been saying that for months there.
Right, take care. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Right. Unusually, Albert, we're not going to have a tune.
I don't feel it singing.
The bridge is going to go live. We're going to hear from Stephen Davis, yeah? And then we'll get the second back of the show. We have to get it. So let's hear from Sir Stephen Davis.
Stephen, can I just get your thoughts on those 90 minutes?
Obviously, the dressing room's hurting. We felt this was an opportunity to come here and get some points. We haven't managed to do that. We caused a lot of our own problems tonight. The 2 goals that we gave away are obviously really poor, and it gives you a mountain to climb. But I think the boys kept trying to go. They put in a lot of energy into the game, and I couldn't ask any more from them for that perspective. But we maybe lacked a wee bit of quality at times.
Losing the goal early in the game, how frustrating was that from your point of view, given the way it came about and how early it was?
Yeah, exactly that. You obviously want to settle into the game, especially away from home, and make sure you're compact and don't concede those chances. And then after that, it gives you a lot of work to do. Second half, I thought we started reasonably well. We stopped trying to play into those pockets and into those feet where they were nicking from us in the first half and counter-attacking on us in the transitions. So we felt get a bit of joy by going a little bit longer and trying to turn them and then getting balls into the box. But ultimately, then we give a bad second goal away, and then you're really up against it.
Yeah, Abdallah obviously got that goal back too after that, and the squad did, like you say, keep trying to get an equaliser there, but just couldn't get back into the game.
Yeah, exactly that. Listen, there's not many positives to take from it, but tonight. But it's a difficult place to be at the moment. But in terms of the effort from the players, I couldn't ask them for any more.
Yeah, you say it's at a difficult place to be just now, but how do you and the coaching staff and the squad get out of this moving forward?
You have to continue with the basics first and foremost. Just continue that hard work, fighting for each other. It's really important we stay together in this moment, and eventually things will turn. But it's obviously a really quick turnaround now until Sunday, and it's important we get over this one pretty quickly. But of course, it's never easy.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right. You can read a lot into that, Albert. He sounds pretty deflated, eh?
You see, the managers never throw the team under the bus then. You know, they sort of say the same old cliches, but you can hear it in his voice. He's gutted, mate. Absolutely gutted. I don't think he expected them to play so bad. Kevin Thompson got it right when he was talking about they were running back with Barisic, and he couldn't believe how lacklustre Barisic was running back. And then he changed his mind and says the whole defence. And I'll go one further. The whole team, it was dreadful. And the wee man get let down badly.
I was struggling to work out where Wright and Lammers were meant to be playing, mate. You know, I could see where Raskin and Lundstrom were playing, but they were playing deep next to the centre halves, and then Lundstrom was going wide. All right, I get it. You slip in wide and the fullback goes forward. I get it, but then you're in the midfield. When the ball goes into the midfield, your midfield's 30 yards away from where it should be. It's just something that's come into our game this season. It's atrocious, mate.
Oh, it's this Lundstrom nonsense. It's this carry on that it started with Gio that he drops into the back four, and he's taking this as a license to do what he wants, mate. I mean, nobody's instructing him to fall in at any particular time in a game. At least Gio was trying to do it in a particular part of the game for a reason. He's just staying off his own back now, mate. And as you said earlier on, he's just hiding. He's totally hiding, mate. That's what he's doing it for.
Shut up. We've been joined by Harry. Harry, let us know he's there, mate.
It's a wee while since I phoned you upstairs, but it's good to hear from you now. Thanks for having me on. And Bridgeman, I'm on I think it was about just the tail end of last season, sorry. I spoke to you in Bridgeman.
What?
And I was speaking about Tavernier, and I think we were saying at that time we felt he was playing with an injury. I think this season's proved it wasn't an injury. I think the guy's gone, to be honest with you. I think it's not just a confidence thing with him. I just think for some reason either age has caught up with him or he just hasn't got that marauding technique anymore where he can bomb up and down parts. Now, if he can't do it at Ibrox, I know it's a bit Laramie there. There's no chance he's doing it here there. And they're basically setting the team up the same every time. We're hearing the same thing. We're learning. We're going to pull together. We're going to find a solution. Now, you know and I know that team, a blind man can see that team's no confidence.
It's gone, mate. That group of players is
gone. It's gone, Bridgman. And the thing I would do is I'd bring in, you're looking at a team, right? Somebody brought up Suter and says that Suter's let a few mistakes. But what they've got to remember is there's 3 players in that team that's picking themselves: Golson, Tavernier and Lindstrom. Now, if you look at Golson's always a right-sided defender, fine. But every mistake the night was coming down that right-hand side. Golson couldn't hit anything. Suter's a right-sided defender, but he's having to play, when he does play, on the left-hand side. He's playing the Davis role. He's done about 90% of it right. But, you know, it's like saying, I mean, he's not a Derek Johnson that can play different positions. This guy needs to drop Golston and put Suter in that position. Bring Balogun in. Drop Tavernier and bring Sterling in. Bring Rick Van in. Go with that back 4 against St Mirren. Or move it into a 3 and put 5 into midfield and go with 2 up front. Dessers need to be dropped. And in either plays Seamer up front and put Roof, and I don't know, Roof and Seamer up front as a 2. And then you can decide who you're putting in midfield. But I think we need to go to a 3-5-2 against St Mirren, because there's no way, and it's been proven, can we play a back 4, because you can see it clear as day. 90% when we lose goals is in a back 4. When we played Livingston, we were about 3-0 up. He went to a back 3, brought Suter on, went to a back 3. Livingston had a couple of chances, but you could see there was more structure there, because you had Sterling and playing Tavernier's role, and they pushed Tavernier up further. So there is stuff there, and obviously players to come back.
Have you forgot? If you forgot about the Motherwell game when we went 3 at the back?
Oh, but see, Ox, you know and I know, right? We're going to. I think somebody else said it. I don't know if it was open. You've got games like 38 games a season, right? You're going to have a game where you're going to butt against the college. It could be a Motherwell, it could be your Livingston, it could be your St Johnstone, where you scrape a win and you can go right, no bother. But see, when you're playing pathetic like that in a 7-game period, that game, under any other normal circumstances in another season, if we would have been playing a wee bit better, you would have accepted that Motherwell game. But you can't accept it, because you're seeing it week in and week out, and we get away with it with Motherwell, didn't get away with Aberdeen, and certainly didn't get away with it with Celtic. And if you watch that game tonight, Golson done a forward header, and it went to the boy, but it went anywhere because the boy missed a chance where he should have been 2-0 up. He done the exact same thing against Celtic, forward header, the boy headed it back, it went straight to Kyogo. Kyogo's through, scores a goal. And that's what I'm saying, you know, there's nobody in midfield for us tonight, and there was nobody in midfield for us against Celtic that builds me with confidence. We were talking about last year, we need legs in midfield. We need runners in midfield. We need box-to-box players. Where are they? If you've got Todd Catwell, you've got Lawrence, you know what I mean? The wee boy Raskin, he looks a promising player, but he still makes a few mistakes. You can see the Simmer, he was screaming for help tonight. You could see it when he was bursting forward. He was screaming for people there. But it's not happening, because the rest have just either gave up, or the confidence has just got to them, or they were never that good anyway when we bought them.
Aye, great call, Harry, great call. And you come on there.
I think your latter's right, Harry. I just don't think they're good enough, mate. I don't think whatever you do now anyway, it's not going to make any difference to these players. They're not good enough, mate. And I don't think they ever were good enough, to be honest with you, mate. We're kidding ourselves on. We got a wee tune out them for one season, 1 and a bit season, and thought we had a team, but we've really not. We've not got a squad, let alone a team. But change has to come in, mate. Suter has to come into the team, whether they like it or they don't like it. He has to come into the team because Golson's not doing enough to stay in the team, and neither is Tav. And just doing that itself tells you that fair's fair. You're talking about when you get in the team, you hold the jersey. Well, that's not true of Golston and Tavernier.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for...
Carry on.
Right. If Golston and Tavernier stay in the team, because they don't deserve the jersey, mate. Neither does Lundstrom. But if they're back in that team, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And also, the strange thing about it is the medical staff and the fitness staff. They keep offloading players and blah, blah, blah. But Tavernier and Golston play every game. How do you know offload them? They never offload them. It's strange that, isn't it? I'm saying that medical team and that fitness team don't know what they're talking about. They're just talking crap, that one. And they work against us, by the way. I'm convinced of that. But that's another argument for that time.
Harry, where would you start? Where would you start, mate?
I would start, you've got to start with the defence because, see, the reason why I'm saying, if you're not scoring goals, right, there's an old thing in football that we all know here. We're all Rangers men daft. But there's an old saying in football, if you can't win a game, you don't lose it. Now, you're playing a team of, let's be honest here, right? I mean, I could throw this in and all. Remember Red Imps, right? We played them and beat them. But remember Brendan Rodgers, first game with 80 Red Imps and get beat 1-0. Came back at Parking. These things, I know these things can happen, right? We know that. But that team tonight, when I knew they were getting there and I seen the team, Dessers came back on the park. I never thought Dessers would have been on that park. There he's on the park. And you're looking at Lundstrom. Lundstrom's not kicked a ball all season. And you're saying, right, there's two right away that we're having to have on. Then you're looking at Golston, who's made a lot of mistakes. Lax, you can see his face. The guy doesn't want to be there, but the fans were booing him. I mean, Tavernier last year, correct me if no, came out in a programme and says the players can't play in front of fans. This is a guy that said this last year when we were getting beat 4-0 with Celtic. Or the players can't play, yet he's still our captain. And as Sammy says there, he's getting picked every week. So you've got to start. If these guys are saying this off the cuff, Golston against Hibs before Gio came in, or when it was 3-0 at half time, we knew the game was over. Right, so you've got Tavernier and you've got Golston making statements. They made them. Nobody put a gun to their head and says, put that out. Tavernier put it out in the programme. Golston came out and says it on TV. Now, I've had two players that says that, and if it was Walter Smith, it was the manager, or Alec McLeish, they wouldn't have kicked another ball for Rangers. They would have never kicked another ball. Now, I'm not saying Walter had a great, he had about 16% win in Europe. Walter. I'm not saying, but one thing he didn't. What he did have was he had organisation, he had structure at the back, and that's where he built his teams on. And he had one damn good goalkeeper, Andy Gorham. So he built his team and his strength at the back. We need to build. We were crying out for a centre half. I think Bale says he tried to get one, but the money or whatever it was, in the English Premiership, he couldn't get them. So if that idiot is saying that, then they must have spoke about it. They must have recognised it. But for me, Tavernier and Golston needs to be dropped. I would bring in Balogun, left-sided defence. I'd bring in Rickman. I'd bring in Suter, and I'd bring in Still, and I'd say, right, use four are taking a rest for a couple of weeks because we've got one more game to play against St Mirren, and then you've got 2 weeks, and then the new manager will come in and he'll check the whole lot of you out and see where we go from here. But at this moment in time, you know.
All right, we've been joined by Smurf. Evening, Smurf.
Evening, Ox. Evening, everybody.
Hi, Smurf.
Hi, Smurf.
So, just get a quick point. Don't disagree with anything anybody said tonight. We can take it in thread that basically you could have up to a dozen players shipped out. Right? Let's be honest about that. Do we don't have a football department, you know, there's need that's all gone as well. So you don't have a team, you don't have a department. Does anybody believe that we've got an executive led by an advertising guy to make decisions and take us forward, or do they trust him to do it?
What is he talking? Do you think he's talking about Bennett?
James Bisgrove, aye. Do you think him and John Bennett are the right guys to take the club forward?
Well, it's different roles, mate. I think what they've got to do is they have got to get somebody that joins up the football, the team and the board. There's too big a gap in the hierarchy of the club, Albert.
I think Bennett and Bisgrove's right to take the club forward. Whether they're right to take the football department forward, that's another argument. See, what Bennett told us in 4 pillars, right? 3 of them are working perfectly and doing well and getting better. The 4th one was the football, the football one. I'll tell Mr. Bennett right now, we've not only got a pillar there for the football one, we've not even got the foundations dug to build a pillar for the football one. It's ridiculous, mate. It's bad. They shouldn't be. What the 2 of them should be doing and going like that. We've not got enough know-how to pick the right guy for this job because we really don't know what we're really wanting here. We want success, okay. Now, I've said, I was talking to Southside before, and I says to him, what you need and what you want are 2 different things, of course, but you've got to get them in the right order. You've got to get them in the right order. What you want is success, of course. That's what we all want. But what do you need right now? That's a different question all the time. And that's the one they need help with, mate. That's the one they really need to start talking to people in the know and build a football department because we're not got one. Now, I hear people talking about that we want a director of football, a sporting director, whatever it is. I'm not sure about that because we're in this mess, by the way, because of the last sporting director we had, the director of football had, played a huge part of getting us into this mess we're in at the moment. A huge part. So we want another one, and I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not quite sure if that's the way forward. Unless I find out, me personally, I want to find out exactly what his role is, not what I think his role is, exactly what his role is, and how we can measure him to see if he's doing a good job. Apart from rotten signings, we know the rotten signing we see once. That's why we know Ross Wilson was a clown. And just to talk to Harry about that centre half he was talking about, Bill said he tried to get one. Thank God he didn't get one if he was doing the picking.
Yep.
Harry, do you think that the board, James Bisgrove, has stayed behind to sort out the manager's problems? Do you think that he's good enough to pick the next manager?
No. I think there was a question asked there, is John Bennett and James Bisgrove the guys to take us forward? I don't think so. I think, and I hate to say this, but when Dave King was chairman, I could see us moving forward. I know Jared trained 3 years. I could see us moving forward. We were doing well in Europe. We beat Brendan Rodgers' team 1-0 at Ibrox. They cut back, Jack put it in. 2 months later, Rodgers is away because he could see that. He could see that Rangers progressing. Since King moved out Himmy, I know we get 55 with Himmy, but whatever's happened with Park and whatever was happening there indoors, I think there was a lot of infighting, guys, if we know. People, what King was trying to get people removed, other things. And that was going unnoticed because we're bobbing along quite fine. And then Gio was brought in. Now, he got us a cup, got us to a European final. If he'd have won that European final, he would have probably been still in his job the following year, but for the whole season. But he got us to the final. We all know that. But how can a team in that season regress to what we are now? And I think that's because the cracks have started at the top. You can see it. The leadership comes to the top. And the problem I've got is we're going back to pre-Jared. So we're going back, it looks as if we're going back to the Pedro Caixinha time and the Mark Warburton time, when we're hoping that things are going to happen. We're throwing money at things and saying, let's hope this works. And the problem I've got is Frank Lampard has been brought into this situation. How do we know the other guys' names that's getting mentioned or says, no, here, hold on a minute, I'm not interested, but they're still getting tooted about? How do we know after Rangers talk to them, we say, like Souness did, sorry, that doesn't impress me. what your plan is. That doesn't impress me at all. And after the night, anybody watching that tonight, we're going to turn around and say, well, I can't work with that 11. What likes the ones that's injured or the ones that's on the periphery? So for me, it's a big job, but it's got to be an experienced man, and it's got to be a man that's coming in and saying, well, look, I need somebody here that I can talk to. No a Bisgrove, no a John Bennett. I need somebody, a football person. If he's going to be a chief executive, this guy needs to know everything about how football works, how deals are made, how systems work. And then, because if you remember when Alan was in, that guy Alan, when Jerry was there, we were supposed to be getting put into a situation where if the manager left, the next man came in and the whole system still went fitted in. Well, that's proven that never happened. Because we've got directors fleeing nobody's business. And we've told our investors, which never happened. And now, who's going to invest in what we saw tonight? Who physically is going to invest in what we saw tonight? So the problem I've got is, what do we do, guys? Because we're asking for it. We know what's needing done. We know what's needing done. When we get 55, we should have moved forward, but we've regressed. We went back to like 3 years before we get 55. And that's the problem I've got.
I think there's been a lot of mistakes made, a lot of things done well after part. But a lot of mistakes. After part. But a lot of mistakes being made in football selection. See, the chairman of the board will not sign off. He'll not sign off every transfer, mate. He'll just get a report on it, say, right, there's the budget, the guy needs 4 players. The football department have identified A, B and C, and we've got them signed, they're ready to come, there's their contracts, they're within our budget. That's all. He'll not be saying, oh, he's not good enough, because that's not his job. You know, Bennett and Bisgrove have different jobs, but they do need somebody in there to join the dots. Anyway, we'll be joined by Mitchell. Evening, Mitchell.
Evening, lads. How are we going?
Hi, Mitchell.
Evening. Yeah, I'm not pleased. It's probably one of the saddest. It's probably one of the saddest moments in a long time, really, tonight, because it was sad because I've seen how far a team's gone so far back since Stephen Gerrard was in charge, to be totally honest with you. It's been a bit of a, I don't want to say a falling ship for a few years, but it has descended quite rapidly in the last, since this summer. You know, the recruitment, as I've spoken about before, has not been good enough. They're a bunch of nobodies. They haven't got the heart or desire to play for Rangers Football Club. It's a team that's in crisis. And I think for me, the biggest embarrassment is the board. I think, you know, everyone can point the finger at Michael Beale, who has also made some very big mistakes, tactically inept, has not got any experience of managing a club, let alone Rangers. And I think it proves to everybody involved that there's a lot more wrong at the top end of the club rather than the bottom end, or where it needs to be right. So I think there's going to have to be a lot. I think this could be a really, really bad season, and I think we've got to prepare ourselves, you know, because I don't think that, you know, we're going to be seeing any luxuries of being right at the top end. I think we're going to be settling, if I'm honest with you, with what we end up having.
It's going to be interesting how it pans out. I mean, there has been a lot of change in our board of directors. We've brought in, there's new people on the board, and obviously the football department's changed. Mulholland's gone, Ross Wilson's gone, and we've got rid of 2 lots of coaching staff, 3 lots of in less than 2 years old there. So there has been changes, mistakes, yes, but we are, and it's new about the next appointment.
That's it, mate, and I wouldn't blame the board entirely. I mean, the board have done what they had to do. This particular board, none of this is their fault, by the way. It's they didn't bring Beale in. He wasn't their man. They never picked him. He was there, and they even backed him up. But they done it in a cute way, by the way. They said they spent the 15 million, but they actually offset that with selling players. So in actual fact, they never actually gave him hard cash, as much as I can see. That might have been intentional thinking, I know they didn't trust them entirely with the football department, but there you go. We are where we are. We're sitting where we are. I don't think the board to blame. I really don't. This one, you know, for right now onwards, aye, they're accountable now. They're definitely accountable now. But you've got to give them a chance now. And I think they're clever. I think they're clever enough to know that they're no football men, and as much as they know the professional within the professional side of football. They're businessmen, and they're very good at being businessmen. They've dragged us into a better position financially. So, for that point of view, they've been successful. For the football point of view, well, they've not really had a chance yet, have they? This is their chance now.
This is their big. This is them going all in, and you come Smith.
Yep. So, Albert's made a couple of points, which maybe I never articulated very well earlier. That's what I'm saying. There's the 5 pillars, and they said they've got 3 right, and one of them was growing the revenue within the club, you know, and I think it was a record turnover last year. A lot of that was helped with European football. Now, a lot of that revenue, the success of it, was down to the lad Bisgrove, who that's his bag, that's his game, and he was brilliant at it. Then they make him a chief exec. And what I'm saying is, you know, in football, the Paralympics, they're playing him out of position now. Why not keep him where he was good at? He was a guy that was growing revenues. And, I don't see how an advertising sort of marketing guy can be charged with a responsibility, or partly charged with a responsibility, appointing a replacement manager and a go-between between the board of directors and the football department, you know, a director, whatever you want to call it.
He isn't in the daily sporting, mate. He obviously being involved in recruitment. Your CEO is going to be involved in any recruitment, any main member of staff, mate. But he's not a football man, and therein maybe lies the problem. You know, I mean, I'm not saying we want another Ross Wilson, but we need something. We need something that's there to bridge the gap. Somebody quietly working in the background, if that makes sense.
Gordon Smith.
Maybe Bridgeman, on you go, mate.
Yeah, I've said this over the last few weeks, and probably for a long while before it. Gordon Smith should be at Ibrox 100%. He should be able to smooth the waves. And look, there is a lot wrong with our club insofar as personnel is concerned, and particularly in the footballing side. But you've got to have someone above the manager who can contact and are in constant contact with the board or board members, particularly chief executive level. You need somebody to do that. And I think Gordon Smith would be a great character for that. He knows his football inside out. He's been in charge of Scottish football at the SFA level. You can't beat that kind of experience. You can't buy. We would love. I think Rangers would thrive well with Gordon Smith there, because a lot of the stuff that happens is quiet in the background, and Gordon Smith's a quiet background type person, in my opinion. And he could negotiate or speak to Bisgrove, no problem at all, and do things, and then talk to the manager and say this is what's happening. So a sort of director of football role without being a director of football, but that kind of role.
And maybe it's just getting the title right. You give somebody director of football, you sort of think they're above the manager, if that makes sense, Harry. It's getting maybe the title right, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout, Bridgeman. See, the problem I had was I was listening to Jim White and that other guy gets on, it used to be the Southampton thing, and they were talking about that. That's what we're talking about. They were talking about you've got to have, if you're going to make a pot of soup, you need to have the ingredients right? That's just a wee terminology there. But they were saying, Jim White said he spoke to Souness, right? And Graham Souness says the role they were offering them was like an ambassador role, and that's not what he wanted. He wanted mayor. Now, to me, Bridgeman, I'm 100% behind you. I'd be looking at Souness, Alec McLeish, or Gordon Smith to come into that role. I think they're at the age now, and maybe at the time in their life, maybe not so much Souness, maybe he doesn't want the day-to-day thing, but McLeish and Smith would probably take it. Now, and I agree with you 100% because Gordon Smith got that SFA executive role, mind in his mind. But would he get offered it? This is the thing. Would they see that as somebody that would come in, because Smith's had that executive role? Would he come in and see maybe things just above him it's wrong, or maybe the things he'd be promised maybe no happen? I don't know, because obviously as soon as he says to Jim White, the stuff that was getting talked about, I wasn't happy and I walked away. Basically, that's what he said.
He didn't want to be an ambassador, yeah?
No, he didn't want it. But what I'm saying is, he was still willing to come in, Oxford. He would have been a great guy. If he'd have come in, he'd have been a great guy for Bale to bounce off of. He'd have been a great guy. I'm not saying Bale was a guy. He was never a guy. But he would have been something that he could bounce off of, you know?
I'm sure he would have bounced off sooner. It might have been his first.
That's a great point, Ox. I mean, do you think maybe the board are like, oh, we don't want somebody like that who's going to be combative and bombastic and call them out on things and hold them to standards and demand investment and this kind of stuff. You know, they're scared of that. Is that what, you know, so, you know, is that a yes man they want? I don't know. But my personal opinion is that I need to go, sorry, because I'm driving, but my personal last point is that boy Bisgrove's obviously a talented lad. He's a young guy, he's bright, he's smashing, he's articulate, you can see he's been sort of promoted. But my fear is he had one of the pillars working fantastically well, and by moving him, are they taking away for the right tool for the right job? Have they employed him in the wrong role, and is he not going to be able to deliver? And is that sort of part of the club that he was responsible for, is that going to be weakened now? You know, I don't know. Anyway, good night, guys. I'll catch you later.
Cheers. Mitchell, this is arguably when managers get the sack at any club, you know, the dressing room's usually low, players are fault, the results aren't going well. You know, so when a new manager comes in, it's usually he's got to turn things around, get the personnel change, get players back confident, you know. The problem we've got is not just have they lost confidence, some of them have went stale, some of them have went in the legs, and some of them have brought in just aren't good enough. There's a real bad combination, mate.
Yeah, I think you're totally right, Ox. And I think the problem we've got now is that it's about getting confidence back, but it's quite a new group, and I don't really think confidence has ever been there for some of these lads, and I don't think they've really understood the challenge that they've been taking on, to be totally honest with you. But I'm looking at projects down south. We talk of, director of footballs, which I've not always been a fan of, but I'm looking at your Brightons, I'm looking at your Brentfords. Yeah, okay, the pressure's not exactly on them like what Rangers is, but these are long-term projects that started years ago, and they've built up to this point now where they're making absolute millions because they've done the homework right. They've completely looked at the market. They've got a clear strategy in place, and I'm wondering why Rangers aren't knocking on some of those doors. And you can't tell me that one or two of them that have got the brains and to come up to Ibrox and they wouldn't want to take on that challenge.
Do you know who the director of football is at Brighton?
I think it's. I know. Who is it?
Davy Weir.
Davy Weir.
Is it? Well, yep. I didn't know that. Wow, that you've learnt me something tonight. But he's. I think the chairman, Mr. Webber, has done an absolutely fantastic job, and they've all come together really well. And I think we don't have to necessarily need a director of football, whatever the title is. Even a football advisor for a manager. Even just having some sort of help behind the scenes, because whether it's all the papers have just been thrown at Michael Bill to sort everything out, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs well enough to really give an opinion on that. But there's a lot. I just can't believe how wrong it's gone. It's so embarrassing because of how many players have come from clubs, and I don't know what they've tried to pitch together to think. Well, we've got now Roof, we've got Seamer, we've got Dessers. So who was going to be the number 9? What's been spoken about before to say, well, how can
we gave an inexperienced manager carte blanche, mate, and we're going to pay a heavy price for it.
The
anyway,
problem you've got.
We've been enjoying the
one
gym
last
evening.
one.
I'll come back to you, Mitchell. We've been enjoying the gym. How are we doing, Jim?
Good evening, lads.
How are we doing?
Jim. Been better nights, sir. See, regarding, I was just listening to yourselves there regarding the fees that he's allegedly have paid for these players. He came out on several occasions, Bill, I'm talking about, and disputed the fees that was being mentioned in the media. He mentioned it more than a few times that the fees paid were nowhere near what we believe, or they were shouting about maybe 6 million, 5 million and 3 million. I think it's pretty obvious now that he's possibly telling the truth, because there's no way that the guys who he purchased are valued anywhere near the sums of money being mentioned in the media. It's pretty evident. So I heard you saying there it's no on the board. So who's it on then? Who gave him what they gave him to play with? Who's it on if it's no on the board? They're sitting there, and I'll tell you something. It makes you wonder how close we're getting to having the Sharks, because I'll tell you something. The fans have just about had enough of this. They've had enough of it.
Right, well, I think the point, I'll let Bob answer his own question, but I think the point he's trying to make is the manager asked for support to bring players in, and the board gave him it. Yeah, no, if he brings in the wrong player, that's how the manager carries the can. Albert.
That's it. I mean, they did back him, and they've got to back him, by the way. He's the manager. So he asked for these players, and bear in mind, the whole 9 of the players, not one of them played for the first team. Every team they came for, not one. In fact, 2 of them came off the treatment table. How they passed them at Rangers medical, that's a mystery to me. But anyway, so they've got to back him. They either back or get rid of him. Maybe we should get rid of him instead of backing him. But definitely, you've got to back your manager. It's just simple as that. And this transfer fee carry on. I wish somebody would come out for Rangers and just tell us what the transfer fee is and kill all this once and for all.
That's what I'm talking about here. Sorry for speaking at you. That's what I'm on about. Was he keen the money it's been reported in the media?
I don't know, mate.
As you were saying there, it came out and blah blah blah. So obviously it's going to show up on A, B, C, and D. I take it when these accounts come out, or whenever it is, these EGMs or whatever they call them. But was he given the sums of money being reported in the media? Because he came out more than once or twice and says that they were nowhere near the sums of money. And what I'm saying is, looking at the standard of the shite that we've got on that park just now, there is no way he paid that kind of money for the guys. That's what I'm saying.
You'd hope no, mate. But put it this way, he brought them in. No matter how much they cost, no matter how much they cost and how crap they are, he brought them in. So we'll clear up one. I don't know how it helps it with clearing up one saying, they weren't as dear as they were this. It doesn't make any difference where we are. We're still here. If they were cheaper or dearer, it doesn't matter. We need to get this mess sorted out.
If you'd have got Dessers on a free and gave him half the wages he's got, he'd have still been conned, Albert.
Aye, definitely. I told you the other night, Jim, where you listen, I never knew never into Dessers. I went on yesterday to say, is this guy as bad as we're all making out? Because I call him a cart horse. So I went on YouTube to check out your YouTube, carry on with your players. He's actually worse on YouTube. Honestly, go and check it. If you've not checked him on YouTube, go and check him on YouTube. He's actually worse than we're saying. So it's dreadful. How do you sign him? Who signed him? That's the question I'd be asking. Not how much we signed him for. Who signed him? Who actually scouted him and said he's a player?
All right,
and Lammers and the rest of them. Sorry, mate.
Don't get me started on him. I actually thought he was worse than Dessers tonight, and that's gone some. Anyway, I've been joined by Bob J. Evening, Bob J.
So a very good evening, boys.
No, it's no.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm just going to say this short and sweet. I would get rid of the lot, apart from the goalkeeper. There you go. That's my feelings on it. That's how angry and upset and frustrated I am. I get rid of the lot apart from the goalkeeper. Sima, he tried. That was it. End of story. The rest were terrible. Taverner, Golson, Barisic, your time's up at Rangers. Admit it. You've not got it for it anymore. Where the club goes for here, I don't know. That's the big burning question we're all want to find out. But that night was inexcusable. That's a team we should always be beaten. That's a team 2 seasons ago we'd have just run out of top of them. That is a terrible display tonight, lads. I'm sorry. Something's got to happen. But the new manager's got some job in his hands. That's all I can say.
He's got a big job in his hands, but if you take it, Lundstrom, as I said, Lundstrom, Jack, Barisic, keeper Ruth, there's another one I've missed out. All their contracts are done, yeah? So that's a starting point. No more. And if you want to leave the club in January, we start bringing players in there. Well, that's hard, Bob, yeah. That's hard time to do it. And as your starter, you try and get it. Oh, Scott Wright's the other one. Yeah,
well, this just contributes to the shambles of it, is it? These people that they've got, like Dessers, like Lammers, you've got them on long contracts and big wages. This Danilo, we've not seen the best of the boy. You evidently can what he can do. He's been unlucky with his injury, but this is it. I mean, you've got a squad there. They're on long contracts. They're on fair to middling wages as far as football goes, and then you've got a group of boys there that are coming to the end of their contract. What do you do? The whole lot of it collectively just isn't good enough, and we've got to get it back to a level where it is good enough. All right, that lot across the city, they got beat last night, but I could see they were still a million miles from us. Like, I'm sorry to admit it, but they are.
We've the legs of our team, you know, and that's where the recruitments went so wrong. Jim, and you come, that's where the recruitment, there's no pace in that team, yeah?
It's actually frightening, and I think there's more legs in our football fans and training team than there is in that Rangers team now.
I like it, Jim, I like it.
Well, no, it's true. It's actually frightening.
No, there's no pace in the middle of the park. Well, Raskin doing about the pitch.
Maybe Nico Raskin. There was a regression in that boy, by the way, is unbelievable. Where was it? I'm not being funny. Moved him at the back end of last season. Where was the last time he passed a body of Rangers player?
Oh, his distribution. Yeah, by the way, if I'm being honest, mate, even when he came in, his enthusiasm with winning the ball match tour, that he wasn't the greatest passer in the ball. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know.
I thought I saw a stat I couldn't believe at the end of the game. It said that I think we had 402 passes completed. And I think they had about 109 or something. I thought I was seeing things.
But 300 of the passes were between...
I went astray.
No, 300 of the passes was goals to the Lundstrom and back and round about. No urgency, nothing in it. You know, that means nothing. Right, the problem I've got is, as Bob G. rightly said, there's 3/3 of your club with the contract situation all there. You've got the ones that's getting finished up, you've got a decision to make if you sit down, yeah? The ones behind in the middle of the contracts just try to maybe point this summer or extend, and the new ones that have come in that are making it fresh. Well, the problem we've got is, apart from Raskin and Cantwell of success, and Butland have looked positive since we've brought them in. The ones at the bottom, the new ones have come in, they've just dragged us down, mate.
And I agree with it, mate. I agree exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. And we're asking one guy to come in and sort this out. I mean, come on. It's a football department you need, and it's the chief exec, the law. Everybody needs to sort this out. How we're going to do it, I haven't a clue, mate. But it needs sorted out. It's a complete and utter shambles.
Yes.
And you just sit and see if we don't really face up to. I'm talking about the executive and everybody at Ibrox, face up to it. And look at it straight in the face and see it the way it is and call it the way it is. We're never going to get better, mate. We're going to actually keep paper out and correct. Get Lampard, get Husket, get whoever. It's going to take more than one guy to sort this out, guys. Sorry, it is. But one thing I will say, by the way, we need to stop booing them. We need to stop. I know we all want to boo them, but we need to stop it, mate. It's no doing us any good now. Everybody knows how we feel about this team. We don't have to carry on booing them. And we've said,
it's time to support the team. Aye. And
it's time, and we need to fill Ibrox again, because nobody else is going to help us if we don't help ourselves, mate. We need to stick together. Stick together again. Don't let these people get in between us. Or stick together. We've done our bit. We've made our protests. Everybody knows. The board knows. Don't care about the rest of Scottish football knowing. The board knows.
We got what we wanted.
We got what we wanted. Exactly, mate. It's time to support the team. It's time to get back into Ibrox and sit there and support us and suffer this till we get it right. And we will get it right. You've got to think positive. It's going to take some doing, but we're going to get it right. Trust us. We're going to get it right.
Why should we accept mediocrity?
We're not accepting it, mate. We're
of course, you're trumpeting for it to accept it. Why should we accept it?
I'm not saying that at all.
You are trumpeting for accepting mediocrity. I pay my money. I buy what you were shouting about buying last night, my chairs. By the way, if I want to boo them, I'm quite within my right to boo them, because they're lucky. They're lucky. That's all they're getting is getting booed. So they're lucky. That's all they're getting is booed.
Jim, wait a minute. I'm not saying cheer them and accept it. I'm not saying that at all. But we're Rangers. We're all Rangers, mate. We've got to back them because nobody else is going to back them. In fact, all the Rangers haters are going to join in. They're all going to join in the back of it.
Rangers haters. That's part of the problem. Rangers haters. Fuck the rest of them. We worry about ourselves.
Easy, Jim.
And if you want to trumpet for accepting mediocrity, you date me. Because I'm telling you something. I'll not be accepting it.
Right, Jim. Calm down. Listen to what he's going to say, yeah?
I've said it, mate. There's no point. He's not going to listen. He's wanting to do what he wants to do. He's got every right to do it. Why you're in, mate? You do it your way. I'm doing it my way.
It's going to be obviously the focal point. Obviously, the focal point for Richmond will be the new manager, and it'll be up to him to galvanise and unite things. Yeah.
Yeah. I said when the fans booed them off after the Celtic game and then subsequent games where there's been a bit of booing, I do think that don't get me wrong, but any stretch of the imagination, they thoroughly deserved getting booed off the park. But sadly, the board need to do. I said it then, and I say it again. They need to do something and do it well and do it now. They need to do something to stop the fans being in a position they find themselves and where they feel they need to boo. It's no right. I don't mind it because we can walk away and leave early or do whatever we want. We can't afford for our club. Can't afford the fans to be booing the team off the park. I know definitely Jim's right in a sense. He's saying, "Well, I want to be able to do it, and I'll do it." But it's not for just the one thing. I think the board have recognised they're a big problem, and they're trying themselves to mitigate it now. So I think we need to leave it and let them go on with it. But I don't doubt for a minute, Jim, that it's going to happen. There's going to be fans will still boo, and I think that's sad at the present moment. We need to be able to get time. We need time to get the shall we say, all the players back on board. And that, I don't look out now the players that are going to have to leave, because there will be a lot has to leave. And we need to let the board go on and do it, because they're going to have to bring in a lot of money to do it.
Frenchman, you're a man of experience. How do we get these new players out there? I mean, do you have to get the investors, with people with money to sit down? We just need to pay these guys contracts up and go.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to set up, and within the club, they need to set a fund if they've not already got one. They need to set a fund aside to say and sit down and meet and talk about it, because you've got maybe 6 or 7, maybe even 8 players that you need to get rid of. Basically, I think that's basically what I heard tonight. Let's say there's 9 players. There's 9 players that you need to get rid of. How much will that cost us, and how can we go about doing it? And they have to start going about and see if Stephen can gather the funds, maybe even from the different directors who are willing to shall we say, take shares next season and for whatever loan they can get, because that's what it might mean. It might mean they have to get £10 million from the other directors who are into that, and we'll give them shares in the place. I think that's the only way they can do it, because it's got to have to happen in New Year. Based on what we're seeing now, I'm just talking about what we're seeing and how fans feel. I feel bad about it, and Jim feels dreadfully bad about it all. And anybody that tries to say anything as far as Jim is anything,
so does Albert.
Was that?
So does Albert.
I'm saying that all of us. That's what I'm trying to say. It's all bad.
Albert, was it you that left the grid on Saturday at half time?
No. It's sad. It's sad. We all just feel down. It's bad, mate. I know how you're feeling, mate. I really do. We all do, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's no good to be a Rangers supporter at the moment. Or I should rephrase that. It's always good to be a Rangers supporter. It's just no good to watch the team at the moment. It's just no good to watch it.
Listen, I get Jim's point. I think all the frustration and the night's changed because, look, all our focus, if you like, I'll say the word venom, and maybe that's a bit strong, but all our frustrations were aimed at Beale. And I think that's fair, Jim. We sum it towards some of the players, yeah?
Aye,
now that you've took Beale away, yeah, nobody's going to give Stephen Davis stick, right? However, the same group of players are all there. And we know, even when Beale was there, we knew that some of them had gone. And then we've seen some of the new players. And for day one, and the bounce games, we thought, who have we signed? And that's what's frustrated us with the new players. Usually new players give you a lift. New players have dragged us down even further. You know, and we've just got so much wrong so quickly. It's frightening. It's frightening. If Steven Gerrard walked in our door, and I know that'll not happen, he wouldn't recognise what's there now, would he?
No chance.
You know?
I think it's going to be frightening for any manager that's going to walk in there, looking at that they knew, and going like, they really want it.
The only way is up, Jim. So if your timing's right,
by the way, can see on another wee thing? I don't know if any of you heard McInnes at half time in that game today. Did you see his comment regarding the need to stop feeling sorry for ourselves? I think it's incredible coming from a manager in our league. Because the way with the comments saying that they need to get a grip with themselves and stop feeling sorry for themselves. That's coming from a manager in our league.
Aye, they don't. By the way, you could see them when they misplaced a pass tonight. They've done everything but playing the pitch.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe they're spoiled and pampered, mate, too much. You know?
Yeah. Frightening. I think the frustration's coming from, we thought we were getting a wee bit closer to that mob. And that's been the catalyst that was the Celtic match.
But Jim, they were there for the taking.
Aye. That's what I'm saying. This is where this frustration's stemming from with the fans. And it led to a good bit of it. The way things turned against them. I've never heard anything used. I know we're all at that vintage age, but I've never heard anything like that at a Rangers game. More so against them. I've never heard anything like it.
Kachina's last game, maybe? Kachina's last game?
Mm-hmm.
That was against Kilmarnock, remember? Yeah.
But no against Celtic, but.
No.
I've never heard it against them. I can admit that.
Celtic game was bad. It was bad.
No. Right,
but
Bob.
That again came for your man with his bold predictions of how they were going to take it to the next level and how this football was just going to be that. We've not seen it for the pre-season. Not once have we seen it for pre-season. I know you're saying there did a good hope against Real Betis.
I asked a question last night, Jim, and I was tongue cheap as always, but I'm deadly serious. When was the last time you played well?
You're right. Even the Real Betis game, Betis had 2 or 3 chances to grab that goal in that game.
Burton stopped to be 3-1. He had a great save.
Correct.
We played well in the second half, but when was the last time we played well? No.
A long time ago.
Nah, you're right. It was aye.
And I'm not counting the bounce game against them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we won 3-0, won easy, but that's a bounce game, if you're honest. If you have such a thing. Season was done. You know?
But there was a resemblance to a team back then. But no, frightening, absolute frightening how we've regressed.
Just quickly,
Can I come in there, Oxchair?
Aye, of course you can, mate. Sorry, mate.
What I was going to say to there is you asked a question there. When was the last time we've put up? But Jim was saying there, I was at the game on Saturday night. First thing I'm looking for is people want to be winners and passion. Right? That's the first thing we all look for. We want to see people. If you don't get a goal, you don't lose the game. That's the whole point of view. There's no passion, there's no hammy. But if you remember back the Celtic game with Pochettino and Jared, we had Tavernier and everybody. We even had our main keeper, Alan McGregor, out with COVID. We had Balogun playing right back. Right? We had so many different players out. Yet we beat them 1-0. The big Swedish boy putting the ball in the back. Putting the ball. Now, you can argue, right, that the half of your team was decimated that day, but we showed passion. Now, I've seen that. I've seen that before. Ali McCoy's been out and we beat that team, and Tommy Burns coming out and saying, if it wasn't for Andy Gorham, I'd probably won more matches. If you look at that team now, apart from Buckland and Seamer the night, as Jim says, nobody gets passions. Jim, I agree with you that you've got a right to boo, but I think now, Jim, 50% of that or 70% of that on Saturday was aimed at Bale, right? And because we were talking about, we don't know where we're going, we don't see tactics. He was coming out with all his sweet words, and the boy Solentis was going to move us another step up, and this and that. We were sold beautiful horses, and we've been given 2 donkeys, right? So we know that now. But the problem we've got, Jim, is we need to, as Oxchair say, we need to give Wee Davis a wee bit more support, right? And if we want to boo at the end of the game, that's fine. But we can't boo when subs are getting made or people are coming off. Maybe it's been a bit injured and things like that. I know what you're saying, Jim. I was booing and all at the end of the game. I can assure you I was. And I have walked out in games. I walked out in the Celtic game. So you asked, did I walk out? Of course I did. I walked out, I think it was 17 minutes before it finished, because I couldn't see us hitting a barn door.
Yeah, I know.
So, and Bale came out and said he tried to get Lammers when he was assistant with Jared, right? But financially we couldn't do it. So this guy, if you look at the players that Bale's brought in, Seamer, we played against him, scored against us, remember? And under Jared. Lammers, he said he wanted him. He was on the sub bench when we went to the final, right? He was on their sub bench, right? So that's how good he was when we got to the final. So you're talking at Frankfurt. So you're talking about we're both players that's either injured and it's no kicked a ball before they came to Rangers. Todd Cartwell, Raskin, Stessers, Lammers. These players were all injured. No kicked a ball for 2 or 3 months and then come to us. So you've got to look at, as you say, you've got to look at the whole department, the scouting department, where you're watching them on videos, or the information you're getting from them. In this case, Bale's admitted that he saw the 2 players, Dessers and Lammers, when he was assistant, and he wanted them. That was 3 years ago, Michael, when they were probably good figures.
Help me with this one then, Harry. Help me with this one. What did they see in them that made them want them?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Oxchair. He saw Seamer playing against us. Now, I would say Seamer looks decent.
He's come on, he's scored 4 goals in 5 games. He's done things. He's passed people at times, right? Quite Parker. Lammers and Dessers. What is anybody?
Nothing.
Well, Lammers in a couple of the pre-season games done a couple of decent things, yeah. And then slowly as it built up, you could see his lack of pace. And as the season started, he's been atrocious. And by the way, if it wasn't for Dessers being even worse, Lammers, it would all be aimed at him, mate. What did anybody see in the 2 guys that thought they were going to sign them, to give them contracts, to give them millions of pounds? What did anybody see? They can't run. They've not got a touch. Lammers, what's the term you used? He's a show pony, Albert, I think he said. He's got a moving steps to the sides with no end product. Yes, he'll score the odd goal. So will Dessers. You know what I mean? He could have got 1 a night. He could have got 2 if he'd have been a bit quicker, right? But there's nothing there, mate. So what did they see he signed them. Now, once Bill said, I want them, they're my players, they're thing, made the board say, right, okay, what's the budget? Blah, 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 go and get them. We're past the medical. So what did Bill see allowing these coaching staff in them? It's frightening me. It's absolutely frightening. Yeah.
But the other thing is, Oxtair, is we've gave Hadji away on loan, right? We've gave the boy to Hearts that managed to set up a goal with Hearts. We've gave him away. We're selling players that scored 18 goals, right? I'm not saying they're the finished article, no. But they scored 18 goals. But you don't need to look further than that, right? You've got Balogun. I'm not saying Balogun's a brilliant defender, but when he goes on the park, he'll give you 110%, and he'll throw his head at end. You've got Suter, will do the same thing. And if you've got a corner or a free kick, you can guarantee Balogun and Suter have more chance of getting to it than Davis and Golson. Because when's the last time Connor Golson has scored a goal for a corner kick for us? Or when's the last, I mean, apart from that goal there against the Portuguese mob, when it was either Seamer or Davis, that's probably the best game I've seen Davis play. But he's played 3 good games since he came to us. Right? You've got Matondo's kicking on, okay, he's injured. But it doesn't take a blind man to see, you know, why did you give Hadji away and bring in Lammers? Why you gained Golak away and bringing in Dessers? Because if you look at the last year, just say Kolak's last year and Dessers last year, Kolak has gave you 18 goals, Dessers has gave you 2. So
see that, but see all that, that's academic now, mate. It really is. I agree with you. I agree totally what you're saying. But the problem you've got now, and I think what Oxford is getting it, is Dessers and Lammers. It's not only what they see in them. We need to make sure that nobody in the club who's actually agreed or scouted them is still at the club at the moment, because they're going to have to use them again. These people. So I want to make sure it was Beale and only Beale it said sign them, because if the other people are in the club and said sign them, you need to get rid of them as well. And that's my big fear.
Is that why we're getting rid of 3 of the scouting staff? Is that why we're getting rid of 3 of the scouting staff? Because,
it might very well be, mate.
Because you've got John Brown supposed to be going, you've got another 2 supposed to be going. Is that because, as you say, Wits Bennett and the other boy Dane, maybe they've looked at that since they've come in and says, here, hold on a minute, 90% of the mistakes or the signings that we're saying have either been injured after they've come in, or Ruth, let's be honest, if Ruth was a fit man and playing 99% of the games, we wouldn't have been able to afford Ruth. Right, he'd have been playing with Leeds United at the Premiership or somebody else. We only got Ruth because he was injured prone. So that proves that. So is that a philosophy that's been running? Right, it's been running through the system for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and the board has now decided we need to get rid of 3 of these guys because this scouting system that we've had in since Jared was there isn't working anywhere now, because we've had to get rid of 2 managers. And because of it. So maybe that's another intake of breath that they've looked at and says, this is why we need to, all these changes is happening, as Oxtair says. Maybe that's why all these changes is happening, is because Meeple, and the problem with Bale is, Bale was given the freedom of Scotland to go and do what he wanted, because we never had a director of football. So he could turn around and say, I'm going to see him. Sure, he was saying he was seeing him eye to eye, talking to them, and telling them his plans, and he was looking them in the eye, and if he could see they weren't up for it, then they weren't coming to wear the jersey. And he was saying that this guy was going to take us to a different level.
Guys, see on the expanding of the scouting team, I believe, and I was told a couple of stories in the night there regarding this, that they recommended multiple players in pre-season, and they refused point blank to take on any of them or even look at them. That's the story coming out of the club. The guys that's been turned away, there was multiple players put forward to our late manager, and he refused to take a look at any of them.
I'm not surprised at that, mate. I'm not surprised, because of what you're hearing, and right or wrong, and it's all rumour, let's be honest. You're all rumours that Michael Beale, it was his way or the highway. So ultimately it was a highway. And if you're getting arrogance about you, that sometimes can make you successful in football management. This time, I'll bear it bit in the backside. Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Bob Jared, last word for you before we go, mate.
Well, you wanted the club to act, and the club's acted in getting rid of the manager. And they'll have to act again on the playing staff side. Whatever the new manager does, he does. But I'm still standing with what I say. Booing will no help. Sorry, Jim. But onwards and upwards, lads. Onwards and upwards. That's all I can say.
Harry, thanks for the call, mate.
Aye, no bother, upstairs. Thanks for having us on, Bridgeman, Albert, everybody. And keep it up for the Rangers, guys, because we're going to do this. Once we get the manager in, he has a good look at that squad. Let's be honest, guys, we have got players there, either injured, and we've got Daly Rice, and we've got a lot of young boys there that the next new manager might like a lookie. So just keep the faith, stay with the club, and let's move forward.
You hear? Jim?
I'm going to say something before I go. Boo! Right, hey, bother, guys. You might hear that on Sunday at minute, you'll hear them going like that anyway. Anyway, guys, brilliant again tonight. No, I'm not talking about Rangers. I'm talking about the St Mirren supporters. Hey, guys, good night.
What about Mitchell? Is he still there?
He's gone, mate. You need to learn to read that.
Oh, yeah.
It's there for a reason.
I don't see that. Aye, well, I'm no boo. Jim, I'm haying. Well done, Rangers Radio, and all the listeners. Aye, on to Sunday, mate. On to Sunday. But I hope we get something cheery to see and say. But never give up.
I'm looking forward to the international break.
It's grim, innit? It's grim now. We're starting to say things like that. Anyway, you're right, mate.
I'm going to watch Inspector Clouseau. He's less of chaos.
Thanks to Stevie, and of course thanks to Martin Steen, who joined us tonight. Bridgeman couldn't work out who's all been, and there was a good bit of trivia there. All there.
We're still here trying to work that
out. Thanks to Martin Steen for joining us. Tommy, Derek, Harry, Smurfs, Mitchell. Always great to hear from Mitchell. Jim 115, who's a ref. You can see how he's a referee, and Bob J. Of course, thanks to Bridgeman and Albert for doing the show, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. Yeah, we're hurting, but we'll still be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 till the ball things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.